Hello everyone, this is Space Marine with another crypto market analysis, and today is June 22nd. And the last time I updated was 7 days ago. My video title was Bitcoin could hit $15,000, and then but the bear market might end a lot quicker than people think. And a small scale version of that happened. Like, this is just one event. I mean, the bear market might continue for a while. And I wasn't saying it's going to end in like a few days. But yeah, Bitcoin went down a lot after that video. So it was holding above $20,000 for a while. And then you see here, it crashed like all the way down to about $17,500. I hope you guys got your trades in nice and low. But then again, it could go lower. It's still possible. Basically, how crypto seems to work with these crashes is they come in like waves, basically. So like there was a wave here, and I believe, yeah, what was going on last week? Celsius like had problems. I haven't looked into it since then. I really don't know what's going on with Celsius at this time. But anyways, yeah, Celsius, like a huge lending DeFi platform, like where people could stake and get money, and it used to be like a very legit platform, so lots of money was in it, and it's still in it. Like they just closed their doors temporarily, supposedly, because they probably lost a lot of money of their customers. So yeah, that helped shoot Bitcoin down all the way from like around $30,000 to like 20,000, and then there was just another hit when the stocks really went crazy the other day, and it went down to $17,000. Yeah, let me see here. What happened in the last week with stocks? Well, yeah, they started to go down really sharply around the same time Bitcoin bottomed out. But anyways, yeah, so Bitcoin hit $17,000, but in better news for Bitcoin, let's look at the weekly chart. So yeah, it went down to 17,500. It quickly rebounded. It went as high as almost $22,000, actually. And then now it's gone down again. And it's actually really intimately tied with the stock market. Like literally yesterday, the stocks went up like a lot. I don't know how good I can see in this chart. Yeah, you can see they went up a lot. It was like a 500-point rise. And then today, stocks didn't go down that much, but it's pretty bearish. And then let's look at the futures, which is basically like the overnight trading, see how they're doing. They're moderately bad, but futures kind of like just give an indication of which direction it's going to go. Like, and lately, even if it goes up in the futures, it seems to go down during the day. But if the futures are down a bit at nighttime, it often leads to a big stock crash during the day. I mean, that's just what it's been doing. But anyways, yeah, so like every time the stock market goes down, it seems like Bitcoin's going down too. Why is Bitcoin so intimately related to stocks suddenly? Well, it's not sudden. Well, basically, a lot of Wall Street hedge funds and retail investors and all the people that typically buy stocks and the organizations and firms that typically buy stocks have bought Bitcoin, especially during the big rally, in the previous year or so when Bitcoin went up a lot. So there's been lots of like huge investments into Bitcoin from like Wall Street, and they seem to be liquidating Bitcoin and selling it off, and also the retail investors are selling it off too, as stocks go down, maybe to like gain cash and liquidity due to their stock and market losses, or to move stuff around. But in any case, it seems like whenever stocks go down, Bitcoin goes down. And in fact, even at like 9:30 a.m., if you're watching Bitcoin right when the opening bell happens, for the stock market, it like reacts like instantly. It either goes up a lot or down a lot right at the moment the Dow Jones and the S&P and the Nasdaq open in New York. So anyways, that's what's going on with that aspect of Bitcoin. So yeah, Bitcoin's holding around $20,000 right now. It dropped a little below $20,000 earlier today. Went down to like 19,800. We'll zoom in just a little briefly so we can see that. Yeah, so Bitcoin's been shopping around $20,000. What are the levels to watch for? So like the big thing when trading, especially like more longer term trading, so like rapid short term day trading, well, even with that, is to watch the support levels and the resistance levels. So Bitcoin definitely has resistance around 21,500, maybe we'll say $22,000. And I was watching it when it was like approaching it. There was like a lot of resistance, even though there was like huge buying pressure pushing Bitcoin up. It seems like it couldn't get past this level of $21,500. And then it got pushed back down. And then there's support low. The support is near $20,000. It did break a little below support, or into the support. So the support might be more like 19,500. But yeah, if it breaks down below support, let's say the stocks like crash really hard tomorrow and Bitcoin reacts to that, it could go back to like $17,000, quite possible. And if stocks do good, suddenly Bitcoin might be able to hit the resistance level of $22,000. but yeah, we'll see what happens. If it breaks through those levels, it could go like way higher or way lower. And right now, it seems things are bearish on the stock market. Essentially, the the governments of the world and the central banks are fighting with a tremendous inflation problem. So yeah, even in the U.S., they raised the Fed funds rate finally, because basically, like, the Fed funds rate, which determines like interbank loans and like really sets like interest rates, was like zero for a long time, which is like free money. So like a bank could like take out a loan from the government or something like that, or from each other, for like totally free. So money was like free, but now they've had to raise the rate to like an actual level where money costs money. Like if someone wants a loan, it's going to cost something. So liquidity is drying up in the economy, and it's causing all sorts of carnage on the stock market. I mean, it's been going on for a while. Look, year to date, look at this. Like the Dow Jones is down 17%, down 6,000 points. And yeah, basically, this is expected to continue and get a lot worse. And there's some real warning signs going on around the world. Like we talked about the Bank of Japan last time. There's speculation that the yen's going to go down a lot versus the dollar and other currencies, and basically have massive inflation. And it's already happening. It's probably guaranteed. And the Bank of Japan is taking an opposite approach. So basically, the Fed in the United States like said, okay, we don't want the dollar to get destroyed. At least that's what they're saying now, and I think they'll continue with this, because if the dollar loses all of its value, then the U.S. loses all of its power. So they're not going to let that happen. They would rather have the dollar be strong, keep the United States empire alive and well, than destroy the dollar just for the sake of the stock market. But in Japan, they're choosing the markets, and they're printing huge amounts of money in order to keep the interest rates near zero. So it's called yield curve control, and essentially what it means is like they're keeping the yields of the bonds near zero. So money is essentially free. And yeah. And so they're printing so much money to control the yield curve in Japan, so that money doesn't start costing money, so they can keep like huge liquidity in the market and keep the market alive. And that's destroying the yen though. So like they're destroying their currency. There's a lot of speculation that they're going to have to abandon the strategy, because the yen's just going to start hyperinflating so much it's not going to work anymore no matter how much they print. But this is like heading towards currency collapse in Japan, honestly. Like a huge developed economies might have a currency collapse, and that will cause the stocks to keep going down more in a big way all across the world, essentially. So yeah, basically, stocks will probably keep going down. The market is bad, but then again, back to this point about Japan. So like, let's say the currency does start to collapse in Japan, and it is already starting. I think that will cause a lot of people in Japan to like put their money in Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is not going to follow the stock market forever. That's my call. Even though right now it's been intimately tied to the stock market, even if we look at the longer term charts, like essentially here's the Dow Jones over the year to date, which is like 6 months. You see it's like that, and then there's like at Bitcoin during the same period of time. Let me just go back and forth between them. Yeah, quite similar. There's been an intimate tie between stocks and crypto and Bitcoin. I don't think that's going to last forever. I think once we start getting currency collapses, and basically the U.S., I don't expect a currency collapse in the U.S. I think the dollar will strengthen a lot, actually, as the Fed does measures to strengthen it and just lets the market fall out. But in other countries where they're not the United States, like there's nothing to stop their currencies from collapsing. Like even Japan's starting to have a currency collapse, and I think it could happen in a lot of places. Even in Europe, there's another article from Europe. ECB emergency meeting creates emergency. So basically, the bonds in Italy are having like the same problem as Japan. Like they're rising out of control, and it would require a lot of money printing to keep it under control. So even the euro could have huge problems and collapse. Like it's not as bad as some of the other currencies, but like there could be currency collapses all across the world. All right, so to bring all this winding speech together, essentially, even though Bitcoin and the stocks are intimately tied, once we start to see currency collapses, I think like billionaires and millionaires and regular people will start to put a lot of money into Bitcoin to keep their money safe from the hyperinflation in the fiat currencies. And I think we're going to see a reversal at some point, where Bitcoin is rising a lot as the stocks crash. And that will cause even more. There'll be like a chain reaction feedback loop, where because Bitcoin's rising and everything else is crashing because the stocks are going down, currencies are going down, but Bitcoin is rising as people funnel their money into it to keep it safe because Bitcoin can't be printed and preserves its value. I think that could lead to just a chain reaction where Bitcoin hyper rallies, even if the global economy is getting totally wrecked. So yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. That's my prediction. And it might already be starting, honestly, because Bitcoin's like holding its ground, essentially, even though the global economy is totally shaky. So yeah, And just to wrap this up, so that's the overall crypto analysis, because basically what you analyze about Bitcoin is like the analysis for the overall crypto market. There's also a few things to talk about with Ethereum. So Ethereum went all the way down to $900 and it recovered really quickly to almost $1,100. But honestly, like every time Bitcoin goes down a little, Ethereum is going down way more. So just like Bitcoin went up some and Ethereum went up like a whole lot more. Like, so Ethereum's having way more dramatic market trading patterns than Bitcoin. And it's interesting to watch. And I think Ethereum is a lot more shaky than Bitcoin. So even if Bitcoin holds its like support levels at 20,000 or 17,000, I think Ethereum could just crash a lot, because like a lot of the DeFi problems, like with Celsius and with Luna and all these other problems, like they tie in a lot to Ethereum and the DeFi economy. And Ethereum could have some serious problems, especially if like another platform goes down or something that's on the Ethereum blockchain, or even any DeFi platform, because there's a lot of Ethereum in every one of these DeFi platforms. And DeFi is decentralized finance, by the way. I'm just throwing that term around without defining it. Another good coin is Litecoin. I think Litecoin is a lot stronger right now. And it actually went all the way down to $42 at the worst, and now it's all the way up to like $55. And it's going up a lot even tonight, even though Bitcoin's going down a little. Litecoin looks very strong. And let's go zoom out to the all-time high. Let's see where it was. Wow, look at that. Litecoin was already all the way at $400 in the past, and right now it's like $55. And I think everything's going to go back to the all-time high. Even Ethereum, I just said Ethereum might do worse than Bitcoin in coming weeks. But I think ultimately it's going to go back to the all-time high. And let's see where that was, like $5,000. Yeah, I think that'll happen. And I think Bitcoin's going to go over $100,000, especially as this chain reaction happens and everyone's funneling their money into Bitcoin to keep it safe from the fiat currency collapse and the market collapses. I think Bitcoin could go way over $100,000, maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars. So that is also what I expect, like truly and honestly, even though it sounds like totally crazy maybe to some people, especially in this bear market. I think Bitcoin is getting ready, like with this global economy situation. This is what Satoshi Nakamoto designed Bitcoin for. Like when all the fiat currencies are going to go down in this end game we're in the end game where if they print more money to keep the economy afloat, their currencies are going to completely collapse. So it's like either let the economy just totally die and the stock market go all the way down. I mean, it won't totally die. There's always an economy, but like the stock market's going to crash a lot. And a lot of fiat currencies worldwide are going to go down with the global economy. It's because the US dollar is different, and I don't have to get into all that right now. All right, so now let's look at Dogecoin. Dogecoin's another one that's outperforming. So Dogecoin went down to like 50 cents or no, 5 cents, I mean. And then it rallied a lot. It went up to like 6.5 cents or so. And I think Dogecoin is very strong long term. And in the past, it briefly went up to like 70 cents. And I think it'll get back there one day. And if Bitcoin starts like rallying at all from this chain reaction effect I'm talking about, I think Dogecoin is primed to go up a lot. And then Shiba Inu, I wouldn't suggest putting a lot into Shiba Inu or anything, but Shiba Inu is like totally following Dogecoin, like where it's like rallying way more right now than the other coins. And then, so yeah, that's basically it. I really liked Dogecoin. I really like Litecoin right now. I also like Monero, but it's not doing that good in the recent market. And we'll just have to see where Bitcoin goes from here. It could test lower. It could go back to that 17,000 support level. It could even go to 15,000 or lower. We'll see. You know, I'm not like a psychic. I can't predict exactly where it's going, and it has room to go lower. But I think every time it dips is totally an opportunity right now, and Bitcoin could easily go up to like $100,000 in the next year or two once the fiat currencies chain react around the world. All right, so this has been Space Marine. Thank you for listening. Like and subscribe, and I'll be back with more crypto market analysis.